Hello friends, welcome to the Point. In this session, we are discussing about major domains of the Earth. The Earth we live, it is the only planet which has life, and human beings can live here because the life-sustaining elements of land, water and air are present on the Earth. The surface of the Earth is a complex zone in which three main components of the environment meet, overlap and interact. The three main components are atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere. These three components, it forms biosphere. The solid portion of the earth on which we live, it is called as lithosphere, and the gaseous layers that surround the earth is called as atmosphere, where the oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide and other gases are found. Water covers a very big area of earth's surface, and this area it is called as hydrosphere. This hydrosphere, it comprises water in all its forms, that is ice, water and water vapor. Biosphere, it is a narrow zone where we find land, water and air together, which contains all the forms of life. The lithosphere, we have learned that the solid portion of the earth is called the lithosphere, and it comprises the rocks of the earth crust and the thin layers of the soil that contain nutrient elements that sustain organisms. And there are two divisions of the earth's surface, and one is the continents and other is the ocean basins. It is clear from the diagram that all the oceans of the world, they are connected with one another, and the level of the sea water, it remains the same everywhere. Elevation of the land, it is measured from the level of the sea, which is taken as 0. The highest mountain peak, that is Mount Everest, with a height of 8,848 meters above the sea level, and the greatest depth, that is 11,022 meters, it is recorded as the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. Continents, the land masses of the earth is called as continents, and there are 7 major continents. These are separated by the large water bodies. These continents are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. These are the 7 continents, and Asia, it is the largest continent and it covers about 1/3 of the total land area of the earth, and this continent, it lies in Eastern Hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent, and Asia is separated from Europe by a mountain called Ural Mountains. The combined land masses of Europe and Asia, it is called as Eurasia. Europe is a continent which is much smaller than Asia, and the continent, it lies to the west of the Asia. The Arctic Circle passes through it, and it is bounded by the water bodies on 3 sides. Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. The equator, or a 0-degree latitude, it runs almost to the middle of this continent. A large part of Africa lies in the northern hemisphere, and Africa is the only continent through which the Tropic of Cancer and Equator and the Tropic of Capricorn passes. The Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert, it is located in Africa. The continent is bound on all sides by the ocean and the seas. The world's longest river, the Nile, it flows through Africa. North America, it is the 3rd largest continent of the world, and it is linked to South America by a very narrow stripe of land called Isthmus of Panama. The continent lies completely in the northern and western hemisphere. South America lies mostly in the southern hemisphere. The Andes, the world's longest mountain, it runs through its length from north to south, and South America has the world's largest river, that is the river Amazon. Australia, it is the smallest continent, and that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. It is surrounded on all sides by the ocean and seas, and it is called an island continent. Antarctica, it is completely in the southern hemisphere, and it is a huge continent. The South Pole lies almost at the center of this continent. As it is located in the South Polar region, it is permanently covered with thick ice sheets, and there are no permanent human settlements in this particular continent. And many countries have their research stations in Antarctica. India also has research stations there, and they are named as Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. The hydrosphere. What is hydrosphere? All the waters on the surface such as lakes and seas and sometimes including water over the Earth's surface such as clouds. Combinedly it is called as hydrosphere. The Earth is said to be a blue planet. Why? Because more than 71% of the Earth it is covered with water and 29% is covered with land. And more than 97% of the Earth's water is found in oceans and it is too salty for human use. A large proportion of the rest of the water it is in the form of glaciers and ice sheets, and some are under the ground, and a very small percentage is available as fresh water which is potable for drinking and human use. Oceans are the major part of hydrosphere and they are all interconnected. The ocean waters are always moving. The three chief movements of ocean water are waves, tides and the ocean currents. The five major oceans are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean and it is spread over 1/3 of the Earth. The Mariana Trench, it is the deepest part of the Earth and it lies in the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is almost circular in shape. Asia, Australia, North America and South America surround Pacific Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean, it is the second largest ocean in the world and it is S-shaped. It is flanked by North and South Americas on the western side and Europe and Africa on the eastern side. The coastline of Atlantic Ocean, it is highly indented. The Indian Ocean, it is the only ocean which is named after a country, that is India. And the shape of this ocean, it is almost triangular and in the north it is bound by Asia and in the west it is bound by Africa and in east it is bound by Australia. The Southern Ocean, it encircles the continent of Antarctica and it extends northward to 60° south latitude. The Arctic Ocean, it is located within the Arctic Circle and it surrounds the North Pole. It is connected with the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait. Atmosphere. The Earth is surrounded by a layer of gas called atmosphere. This thin blanket of the air, it is an integral and important aspect of our planet. The atmosphere provides us with the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of the sun's rays. The atmosphere extends up to a height of about 1600 kilometers. The atmosphere is divided into 5 layers based on the composition, temperature and other properties. These layers starting from the Earth's surface are called as troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. The atmosphere is composed of mainly of nitrogen and oxygen, which makes about 99% of the clean dry air, and nitrogen is about 78% and oxygen is 21%. And other gases like carbon dioxide, argon and other comprises remaining 1%. Oxygen is the air that we breathe, while nitrogen helps in the growth of living organisms. Carbon dioxide, though it is present in minute amount, it is important as it absorbs heat radiated by the earth and therefore it keeps the planet warm. So carbon dioxide is essential for the growth of plants. The density of the atmosphere, it varies with height. It is maximum at the sea level and it decreases rapidly as we go up. That's why the mountain climbers, they experience breathing problems due to the decrease in density of air. They have to carry oxygen cylinders so that they could be able to breathe at high altitudes. The temperature also decreases as we go upwards. The atmosphere exerts pressure on the earth. This varies from place to place and some areas they experience high pressure and some areas low pressure. Air moves from high pressure to low pressure. Moving air is known as wind. Biosphere. Biosphere, it is said to be the domain of life. The biosphere, it is a narrow zone of contact between land, water and air. And it is in this zone that life that is unique to this planet exists. And there are several species of organisms that vary in size from microbes and bacteria to huge mammals. All the living organisms, including humans, are linked to each other to the biosphere for their survival. The organism that is present in the biosphere may be broadly divided into plant kingdom and animal kingdom. The three domains of the earth, interact with each other and they affect each other in some way or the other. For example, cutting of the forest for fulfilling our needs or clearing land for agriculture, it leads to the fast removal of soil from slopes. And similarly, Earth's surface may be changed due to natural calamities like earthquakes. Emissions from the industries, thermal power plants and vehicles, they pollute the air. And carbon dioxide, it is the most important constituent of air. But increase in the amount of carbon dioxide, it leads to increase in global temperature. And this is termed as global warming. And therefore, there is a need to limit the use of resources of the earth to maintain the balance of nature between the domains of the lithosphere, the atmosphere and the hydrosphere. See you in the next session with some other interesting topic. Thank you.